Hi, thanks for tuning in. Welcome. This is going to be a collective reading for September 2021. I've been doing them around the moon, but I just felt really strong inspiration to pull some cards. I pulled a few for some friends and then decided to pull one for the collective, and this is what came up. Big picture thinking. And so that inspired me to just go ahead with a reading. So right away, it's like very beautiful image. And what's calling to me most is that there's like a gate and a portal. So there's a doorway that's appearing to walk through. And then there's also this like lake or pool here with reflection. So there's some reflection that's being called of you right now. So I'll read out of the guidebook for this. It's the Starseed Oracle. And then we'll go from there. And this card is big picture thinking. The Pleiadians are cosmic cousins. They're here to remind us that it's never too late to learn new things and change the future. You're being called to be a visionary for the planet, to take a breath, shake off what you've been taught about the world, and hold a new vision for humanity. You're likely a natural big picture thinker, here to generate ideas for the future and here to birth a new age and dream a new world into being. The future will be woven by dream makers like you, by those with enough courage to question the way things have been and envision new possibilities for the planet. The world needs more artists, dreamers, inventors, and visionaries. Perhaps you've had an idea recently that you're being called to usher in. If so, this card is your confirmation that it's divinely guided. The Pleiadians support us in this important stage in Earth's development. They want us to know that the decisions we make today will affect the well-being of our planet and all its species. They're calling on you to be a leader of the future, to hold a clear vision of what's possible, to trust that vision and to follow it through with daily action, to dream a new world into being and to hold your mind open and try not to worry about what others think, for it takes great courage to pave a new path, to trust a vision before it's a reality. So there's kind of a lot going on there. The inquiry for this card is, how are you being called to step up and lead? And what new ideas or creations are you being called to pursue? So if you need to pause it and just sort of let that soak in or process or see what comes to mind, or like just want to journal about it, you're welcome to do that. I feel like this is saying September is when we're either going to go through a gate or make a decision to go through a gate in like a big way. And it's okay if you take some time to reflect on what that is, but to have the clarity and trust, kind of like what you know on a deeper level, like whatever has really been calling to you and you maybe haven't had the courage to go there. This card's really like, yeah, if you go there, you've got divine support. And okay, now I'm going to go ahead and do pull some traditional tarot cards from my Aquarian deck. I haven't used this deck for a while, but I was really feeling, it was just asking to be picked up, so we'll see. Speaking of, how was that last Aquarius full moon for you? I guess it was like the second one in a row. Oh God, okay, so you've heard that card come out. Oh God, let's get it going here. Okay. Okay, we have actually two cards. So we have the Four of Swords and the World. I don't love how that's lighting that. Well, that's really just strong visual right there. Oh wait, this came out reversed. Okay. So typically when I draw the Four of Swords, it's this idea of like meditate and find calm to avoid the sharp edges of your mind. However, the reversal can be an indication that we're possibly avoiding taking our next steps through whatever this gate is, because so normally it's like upright. I guess I laid it down upright to talk about it. You can see it's like these swords are threatening to fall. And if you can keep your calm, you'll be okay. The reversal, though, it's interesting because there's like the directionality. Swords are air, so there's this like directionality and the same color as this like Pleiadian star portal through this gate, and it looks like it's just pointing directly like that needs to happen, instead of sleeping and staying still. And then it almost looks like the knight is going to fall on these three swords. And then I'm also just really seeing this triad. And there's something about a triad coming through there too. Like a triangle being the strongest form of support. And then look, we have an upward pointing triangle on this card itself. And air is also masculine, so it's that take action. And four is traditionally stability. And then there's also these like really stable pillars, which I'm a little jittery and shaky. Goodness, I like bonked the camera. I'm like, I swear I meditated before this. Oh, and I also did my little prayer that this be in the highest good of all that tune in and that need to hear the messages they need to hear, free of interference. And then the fact that it was like right around when I was like, how did that last full moon treat you? So whatever came up around that last full moon is probably what's influencing this Four of Swords energy. And then the World card, that's like a powerful card. And circular, feminine. Again, we have this same purple color theme throughout all three cards lined up here. You know, some strong spiritual energy, some Pleiadian energy connected throughout. If the whole Pleiadian thing doesn't resonate with you, like I always say, take what you like and leave the rest. If that is resonating though, or that has resonated with you, like maybe like tune your ears to listen a little deeper. And in this World card, it looks like, there's like the four corners with a lion, a bull, a red-headed lady, and like a hawk or an eagle. So lots of energy to draw on. There's also this like portal image. And the world card typically is like a completion energy. I guess I could keep pulling cards. I don't necessarily have to like stay here, but it's definitely indicating some kind of change. Something wants to wrap up and something wants to be rebirthed. So just, I mean, visually it's interesting. You've got the sword to go through the portal, and then something wraps up and something new is taking form. It could also indicate travel and I don't know, it's making me think of the Magician card where you can like draw on your power. So, but instead of the 4 elements of power, it's more this, how do you draw on your own inner feminine, and you know, again, with the bird, the visionary thinking of what's best in the bigger picture. The lion having courage, you know, listening to your heart instead of the mind. The female is creation energy. And the bull, look, this card is so beautiful. I need better lighting almost. It has this really pretty blue, I don't know, I've just never seen a bull look like that. Also like fertility and abundance and again stability, so kind of mirroring. There's like a lot of mirroring happening here. You know, in the fertility and abundance and femininity facing forward, and then this, as it relates to our past, being able to kind of soar above it and have courage. And just standing in your truth. Just looking at that woman there with like the white, you know, look, there's also another pillar theme emerging. I just get the sense that she's grounded. There's a red small triangle. God, what a trip. Right on her throat chakra. So she's able to stand in her truth and have her voice, drawing on the power of all of this. In order to really embody something your higher self is asking you to embody. It's interesting too, because I normally, or in the past, I've typically done these readings either on the full moon or the new moon or around there. And I'm recording this on August 31st, so I'll probably post it tonight or tomorrow. And so I've just decided to set the intention that this reading be for the collective for September. So just looking at these 3 cards, it's sort of indicating, I mean, we're not done with the reading by any means, but there's a gate we need to go through to wrap something up to get on to the next thing. So with that, let's ask for more clarity. Okay, let me get a bearing here because these cards are really slippery. I'll just draw 3 cards about clarity moving forward. What's most important for us to know right now? King of Cups. He's got a octopus on his head as a crown. I love that. Because cups is water, right? So there's definitely some masculine ownership of the deep, the waters. You know, and octopuses are incredibly smart, adaptable creatures. We'll come back to that. That Seven of Rods just kind of flew out. That card really distracted me from where I was saying, but it wanted to come out, so let me just pull this last card and then we'll see how they all interrelate. The one thing that's really jumping out at me is the same purple color as the sword moving forward that's holding the cup and that portal and gate. This idea of holding your whatever's in your cup. Is it like what emotions are coming up from you from the deeps that you need to sit with in a powerful way? Okay, and then the Fool reversed. God, I love this deck. I say that about every deck I use, but so the Seven of Rods is going to indicate, the reversal is like indicating that there's just maybe some strong anxiety coming up around this big shift. And I keep getting the message that there's going to be like a big collective shift in October. So this almost all feels like preparatory work for that. So it's like as you take your seat of power and hold what's yours, your empowerment, your spiritual truth, your next stage, it's like kind of this apprehensive, are you sure? When it's upright, it's normally, you know, you've come out victorious. So it's this question of what's holding you back? What block is there, and how can you not avoid the block, but give it a little HELLO, the I see you, I acknowledge you, and then, you know, like what shadow work needs to happen there, what, you know, like what love can you send to that part. It's so funny, my dog is snoozing and she just made these little dreamy, like, dream sounds right when I said that, like what, sorry, I associate the dreaming with the subconscious process, so, you know, with this octopus crown. And again, the Fool reversed is also, I guess the way I pulled these cards was more like, would also just indicate that apprehension, you know, like normally the Fool is ready to just go in the new direction, so that might be indicating if you are ready to complete and wrap something up that you don't just like take an impulsive action until this anxiety is dealt with. Like, don't make the decision from the anxiety. Have the anxiety fully resolved before moving forward, is what I'm getting from that. Or conversely, you know, if you make a decision from all the confusion without finding clarity first, it'll be a foolish decision. Which is interesting that that lays over the World card, right? So, like, obviously something is wanting to complete and start, but there's also some holdback. And then it's weird, this like rod energy is showing up a lot in those two cards, which I guess for me would indicate like a need to ground, which is always easier said than done, but especially for Virgo season and the you know, this whole original card talking about like the Pleiadians supporting us on Earth. Like, Virgo's very Earth energy. You know, the King of Cups is definitely water. Ooh, I like that. So this in reflecting, we want to be holding space for our emotions in a very, like, take the seat, allow what's going to come up, even if it's not fun. Sometimes it's hard being the messenger and giving these messages, because it's like, I have to listen to this myself too, you know, like, but have you guys ever seen that meme where it's like, you know, you get a deck of cards, of tarot cards, and you think you're going to be able to tell the future, and like really what it does is call you on your SHIT. So yeah, definitely wanting to not make an impulsive decision, and to deal with and sit with whatever's coming up, but you can't avoid going through whatever portal is coming, because there is like a very powerful the world keeps spinning, the change is going to keep coming. Okay, let's keep pulling cards. And then just stepping back, you know, like the Seven of Rods, the anxiety, like that's kind of a connector between these two. So don't avoid your emotions. And then the Page of Rods, to guide you on your way, will appear. Did you hear that card like fall out right when I said that? We've got the same purple feather pointing back to this Pleiadian gate. Same as the purple hand and the purple sword. So a little bit of wait for guidance. There's going to be some I mean, traditionally this is like a young man that's a messenger, so have faith, or just be paying attention to what could be showing up as you work through this. but there's definitely change coming. Like, that couldn't be any more clear with the Wheel of Fortune. It's just powerful. It's such a powerful Wheel of Fortune card. Good God. So, it's weird that I was just saying how the world keeps turning, and then we got the card that actually indicates this, everything's turning, and it represents the number 10, which is often completions, but September is the 9th month, so I feel like this is saying that the wheel is going to turn in October. Yeah. In like a really big way. And there's also a message coming through about that first card, to like take daily action of what matters to you for the vision and clarity and world you want to see, and like that's going to be the completion of that. Okay. I feel like that's complete for the Aquarian Tarot. I'm being enticed and seduced to do one more card, but I feel like that's the message. I'll pull a few more cards and then wrap it up here. Change is coming, not quite time. There's still some prep work needed and some stuff to resolve. But there is some very kingly energy, worldly energy. It's some like powerful energy coming in here. Powerful support. Okay, well, maybe we're not done because that doesn't feel like that clears anything up. The Seven of Swords reversed. Is let's see here. It's like well, that's just, it's like he's carrying this burden of the 5, right? Because traditionally 5 can be grief, and then there's like these 2 hidden swords behind him. And so traditionally upright, it can be like plans, hopes, expectations, but then the reversal is asking for some sound advice and guidance. Which I feel like that's what this Page of Rods is. And then I just set the deck upside down on the table, and the Ace of Swords was face up. So it just felt like it was jumping out at me again. This same color, same purple color coming through here, and then the 2 white roses. Mirroring that White Rose of the Fool card. I always find that interesting in this deck, that the Ace of Swords is, very positive, slice through whatever, but then there's the 2 white roses, and roses are very high vibrational. The white is a purity color, and protection. So I feel like that's saying that whatever guidance or counsel you're being given, can trust and have faith in, is going to help you get through this portal with this original Four of Swords confliction. It's like signifying some kind of triumph over something. And this deck, oh jeez. This deck also indicates it can be a birth of some sort, so that definitely would correspond. With this whole death and rebirth energy of something wants to wrap and something new wants to start. With the Seven of Swords and the Fool card, just, I feel like it's saying there's a lot of confusion present for September, and to not get lost in the confusion, like really who's your trusted confidants, and you know, ultimately your highest self, can you listen to that and tune into that more than any of the externals? And you know, you can get to that by really sitting. So I don't know if this answered your questions or gave you some insight or just brought up more questions. But the message is fairly clear. You know, with great change. Some people are great at change, and for some people it really can spook old ghosts. So the trick is that is the ghost going to get the say, or are you? That really wanted to come through. Ooh, that gives me chills. Like even the, you know, our mental mind ghosts. Sometimes they're tricky. Like sometimes we think they're who we are. Okay, and then while I was talking, this will be the last card, and then I'll pull a Universe Has Your Back card, the Eight of Pentacles. So definitely building and creating something new, moving forward, and that jumps back to that daily action. So what baby small steps are going to get you to where you want to go? I'm the dreamer of my dream. It's the same fucking color. I surrender to a power greater than me. Still the same color theme. Butterfly transformation, change. And my faith has the power to turn trauma into healing, conflict into growth, and fear into love. So this reminder of faith. And should we do an animal spirit card or a Lumen Threads of Fate? Let's end with Threads of Fate, just since this feels like such a fated message. And while I shuffle, if anything's coming up for you, you want to share, or anything's resonant, you want to share, I'd love that. Thanks for your support and tuning in. Appreciate it. Appreciate the support. Okay, so did you hear that like little card breakup? 2 cards want to come out. This lighting might not be quite right. It's really cool though. This was the deck my good friend gifted me. It's so beautiful. I'm still getting to know it. And these 2 cards I have not yet pulled. So let's do it like that. So we have the Pillar, which also mirrors this pillar, and the Magi, which is interesting that I was saying the world made me think of the Magician. So we also have the Vision, and this going through the gate. And I'm going to look at the book. Let's move that. Just set these up like this. Oh my god, I'm so klutzy today. I'm gonna read out of the guidebook. This guidebook's a little confusing, so just, observe and think about what's been shared so far. Okay, the pillar signifies the need to rise to the occasion. It indicates a time where we may need to be all things: the backbone, the nurturer, the provider, the lover. The pillar asks you to step into these roles as best you can, knowing that you're being pushed outside of your comfort zone. You will learn just how capable you are. It's a time where we take our gifts to new heights and learn that our perceived flaws are just that, perceived. If you have been resisting a new opportunity or a role that has presented itself, it is time to step into it and trust that you will learn as you go. This is also a time where our container grows. We learn just how much space we can hold for ourselves and for others. Continue to listen to yourself. Fill your own cup so that you can be there for others, but don't forget to push yourself. A balanced pillar energy is being able to wear many hats, to hold space for family and community, but doing these things with empowered boundaries. It's placing your personal well-being and needs first, knowing that your service will be better because of it. An unbalanced pillar can go a couple of ways. In an attempt to maintain all control, one can get domineering and manipulative, and on the other hand, they may find themselves becoming codependent, where their identity gets wrapped up in the need to caretake others while forgetting about their own needs. So, if you find yourself in the shadow of pillar, ask yourself, where can I soften? Where can I put up boundaries? What are my personal needs, and how can I go about meeting those for myself? So think on that while I look up. I'm just going to read the Magi and then we'll end. Okay, the Magi indicates a period where you need to look deeper. Are you seeing the themes in the previous reading coming through? I mean, that's also confirmation. It asks you to examine what you think you know and then keep going. Throughout our lives, we build an infrastructure of beliefs that allow us to navigate life, but so often this system is built on top of a shaky foundation or out of weak materials. In other words, it's time to question that which you have never noticed. What beliefs inform your decisions, passions, and ambitions? The Magi is a seer of illusion, and in turn they are able to cut through the fog and get to work. The Magi may see the world similar to a mirrored funhouse. They see the core of each experience and are able to acknowledge how many different realities exist in a single moment. Being able to see these realities is a gift. It teaches us to be less attached to a single road, but instead see where all the roads meet. If we are courageous enough to see and be open to our life unfolding along any of the various roads, we invite in a magic that few get to experience. Even a balanced Magi can frustrate people. They have some trickster energy and they can see the bigger picture, which was the first card we pulled, and may know the answer, but they'll present the information to you in a way that may spin your head. They are gifted with words, and everything they say can have multiple meanings. When the Magi is unbalanced, they can be very manipulative and self-seeking, and they may talk down to others as they believe themselves to be greater and more knowledgeable. Rather than present information meant to challenge others, in the expectation that it will ultimately be empowering, the unbalanced Magi will present information in a way that's meant to make the other person feel small. In fact, they may enjoy the fact that others don't understand. Okay, so how do you balance your inner magician with this pillar energy? And I'm just going to let you sort through all that and be well.